October 27, 1962. The world holds its breath. The Cuban Missile Crisis is at its peak, and humanity is teetering on the very edge of nuclear annihilation. Deep beneath the waves of the Caribbean, an American destroyer, the USS Beale, is dropping depth charges on a Soviet submarine, the B-59. The Americans think they're just signaling for the sub to surface, but down in the suffocating, sweltering heat of the B-59, the crew thinks they're under attack. The captain, Valentin Savitsky, is convinced war has already broken out. His submarine is armed with a 10-kiloton nuclear torpedo, a weapon with the power of the Hiroshima bomb. Communication with Moscow is cut off. In this moment of pure chaos and terror, Savitsky decides to launch it. According to Soviet protocol, launching this weapon required the consent of the two senior officers on board. The captain and the political officer both agreed. The order was given. The world was seconds away from a nuclear holocaust. But there was a third man, Vasili. He was the flotilla commander, equal in rank to the captain, and by a stroke of sheer luck, he was on board that specific submarine. Arkhipov argued against the launch. He was the lone voice of reason in a pressure cooker of fear. He questioned the captain's certainty, calmed the situation, and insisted they surface to await orders from Moscow. The tension was unimaginable. Heated arguments erupted in the cramped control room, but Arkhipov stood firm. He refused to give his consent. He single-handedly vetoed the launch. He convinced Captain Savitsky to stand down and bring the B-59 to the surface. The Americans were stunned to see it emerge. They had no idea how close they had just come to global catastrophe. The world had no idea either. For decades, Arkhipov's story remained a classified secret. He returned to the Soviet Union not as a hero, but as a man who had faltered under pressure in the eyes of some superiors. He received no medals, no parades, no recognition. It wasn't until 40 years later, at a 2002 conference in Havana, that the full truth came out. We learned that one man's courage, one man's calm in the face of Armageddon, prevented a war that would have killed hundreds of millions. Vasili Arkhipov is the man who saved the world, the greatest hero you've probably never heard of. Remember his name. Thanks for watching.